Have you seen these beautiful looking websites which were designed by AI? Because in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can generate these yourself. Websites are going to be built with AI art, as well as tools like ChatGPT in the future. In this video, I'm going to explain the whole process. We're going to start by creating a website design in MidJourney. We're going to use that art tool to customize that image. And then we're going to plug this into a no coding tool. Then we're going to jump into ChatGPT and we're going to have it write the entire website layout for us. All the content, the hero sections and feature sections, and much more. This means that we can build an entire website from the ground up without writing a single line of code, and this will be pretty damn cool. We'll start with MidJourney. This is the AI tool that allows you to create the AI art that we're now seeing all over the web. To go to this, you just go to midjourney.com and join the beta. It's easy to get started because all you really have to do is join the Discord. When you do this, it'll open up the Discord community, which you can accept the terms and conditions and start creating your own AI art. Let's do this now. Here I've got the MidJourney server. I'm gonna head over to one of the newcomer rooms here, and here is where everyone is creating different types of AI art. The first thing we need to do is do a / and type in imagine. This will give us a prompt where we can request the AI to generate any type of art we're after. Here, I'm going to type in a beautiful website for shoes. Then I'm going to pass in --v4, which is version 4 of the MidJourney AI art tool. Finally, I'm going to pass in stylize, and stylize is basically how random we want it to be. It's between 0 to 1000, and I'm just going to set it to about 500, which is average. Here, this will start working in the background. It's going to generate a low fidelity version of the website and the design for this art. And this low fidelity version will be iteratively updated to be higher in resolution and rendered with four examples. These 4 examples then can be picked from, and then we can upscale them as well. So let's have a look at what kind of results we get. Now, one thing to notice here is that we do get a bit of a loading percentage bar, and this is how long it takes for the actual AI to generate the image. Usually it takes between 1 to 2 minutes, but it will essentially refresh and ping you once it's complete. So here it is complete, and here are the 4 versions that we got, which are not too bad, but not that great either. They're a bit, I suppose, funny looking in a way. So this is where we can start being more creative with our prompts. So what I mean by that is by giving more context as to what we want to do. So here is the prompt that we created. What I'm going to do is pass in imagine once more. And when I paste this prompt in this time, I'm going to give it some more context. I'm going to pass in the word UI, UX, UI, UX, and I'm also going to type in website. This basically means that it's more or less focused on having good UI and good UX and being more like a website rather than just a creative shoe design. It's important to give these context clues to the AI if you want better outputs. Different types of context clues you can provide it are the kind of art style that you want, or for example, how you want the design to look and feel, whether you want it to represent a certain brand, and much, much more. These are just simple examples, but let's take a look at the kind of results we'll get just from making these small little changes to the design. Here you can already see that the design of the website looks like it's a little bit more interesting. We have a bit of a slider and what looks more like Nike shoes now. We also have what looks like a menu at the top, and I really like this design that we have here on the bottom left. Where'd that go? Here it is, because it does look very much like a website. We've got a bit of a hero section and whatnot. So from here, we can select version 1, 2, 3, and 4 to upscale. I'm going to upscale version 3 here, which is U3. And this will give us a higher resolution version of this one particular design that we can start to take to market or even use to build. This again takes a little bit of time. It's going to process this and do an upscale in beta. And let's run this in the background so that you guys can see what this looks like. Here's the final result, and this is looking pretty damn interesting. We've got a nice design here for a shoe. We've got a bit of a hero section. We also have what looks like 2 call to action buttons. We've got some options here at the very bottom and as well as a menu at the top. And we've got these colors that, well, essentially are looking like the shoe colors being used as part of the website design. So not too shabby, but I think we can do a little bit more in terms of customizing the design for this website. And I'm going to show you how you can do this. I'm going to copy over this prompt once more. And for this prompt, this time what I'm going to pass in is a couple of extra things. So let me just maximize this screen here. We're going to type in imagine. Then we're going to paste in this prompt. But this time I'm going to pass in the context clues of Nike, because Nike make obviously website shoes. We also want it to be red, blue, green, and or maybe teal and yellow. And I suppose we want, what else? Running person would be interesting to see how that gets designed. And I think that should be enough. And let's actually improve the styling here to 750 to make it a little bit more, well, creative. And here are the results. I don't have a running person, but I do have a website that has definitely started using the colors that I recommended MidJourney's AI art system to use. These website designs look way more creative than we had previously. We still have this slider design here at the bottom sections where you can pick out different shoes, but even these shoes look damn cool. I can see the Nike logo on these, and these are actually ones that I would probably buy if I saw in the Nike store. But generally, these also are websites because we've got the menus here at the top right. We have call to action buttons and hero text. So generally speaking, these are pretty interesting designs. Now I have another option here called version 1, 2, 3, and 4. What this does is actually allow you to pick more generations based on an actual image from these designs. Now from these designs, I actually like the 3 and 4, I think it is most. I think 4 actually kind of looks good with those teals and reds. So I'm going to select a version 4 here, and it's going to create 4 more versions based on that specific version for us. Let's take a look at what those are. Here we've got our results. We have more examples of that. All of these look very similar. I think the only difference here is this red line, which seems to shift and change, as well as the hero section and where you would normally have this menu at the top right. And sometimes these shoes here are a little bit inverted, but generally speaking, this is the kind of variations you can expect. Now, let's take a look at another way we can do generations for website art. Now, what you can do is jump into any website and select an image that you like. I've actually gone here to Dribble and I'm pulling in this image of this food delivery website, but I do like the design aesthetics we have going on here. And then we can jump back into Discord and we can do a very similar prompt to what we've been doing in the past. But this time, what I'm going to do is type in imagine. Then I'm going to pass in the URL we have here. Finally, I'm going to type in beautiful website, shoes, Nike, like we did before, UI, UX, website, red, I suppose teal, yellow, green, and finally we'll do --v4. So what's going to happen here is it's going to have a look at this image that we've defined in terms of the URL. It's going to use this as a reference point. Then it's going to take a look at the prompt we've put in, which is the shoe prompt using the colors. And it's going to try to design a website that has a similar aesthetic to that image, which is really cool. Let's see the results we get back. Looks like that's ready. Let's take a look at this. So here you can see that the design aesthetic that we originally had on this page for this website design with the more bubbly and colorful images are now represented very much so in these design aesthetics. We have these 4 elements here at the bottom, and if you have a look at the design, originally we had 4 elements here. So you can see how it's pulling in these design aesthetics to create a design based on that. And this is where you can really start using the AI art tool to your own benefit, trying to combine different styles, customizing them, and creating new and independent and unique ones from there. I have to say that I'm really liking this very first design here at the very top. So what I'm thinking of doing is an upscale on it. So we're going to upscale V1 here, and we're going to wait for that to come back. Then I'm thinking, let's plug this into an actual website and build it out without writing any code whatsoever. What I'm going to do as part of this next step is use ChatGPT to write out most of the content for me, and then I could take this to a client to immediately start selling. Here's the upscale that happened. If we take a closer look, we'll see that it has all the main elements for a website, including a logo area, a menu area, a nice hero image, as well as a title, tagline, button, as well as a feature section. So what I'm going to do is save this image to my computer. I'm going to save it and then customize it a little bit inside of Photoshop. But before we do that, we're going to head over to ChatGPT. Here, we're going to prepare the outline for the website using some AI tools. So what I want to do here is ask ChatGPT, give me the broad outline for a website for shoes, including, I suppose, hero title, tagline, call to action button, and maybe a section for features and details about the shoe. So let's see what ChatGPT comes back with. It's pretty quick. It's got a hero title here, a bold, eye-catching title. Now here it's not really telling me what these are. This is where we might need to be a bit more specific as to what we want it to do. It's given me like the broad outline of the website and what it needs. So please provide content for each one of these that I can copy paste straight into a website. So that's a pretty descriptive one. Hero. Title, step up your style with our comfortable and stylish shoes. Tagline, find the perfect pair for any occasion. So it's already got some pretty good ones here. Call to action should be shop now, which makes sense. Features are shoes, blah, blah, blah. Yep, so I think I've got enough here to go by to simply copy paste this straight into a website. So let's start beginning to design this. Next, I've opened this design up in Photoshop. I'm going to actually just crop it into the main element over here. And I really want to capture this hero image, which I want to use as part of designing it. So I'm going to crop out most of the rest, and we can design each aspect or each part of this design bit by bit. But once we have this, we also have a bit of a hero section here. And what we can use is the, I believe it is, there's a brush here. It's like a healing patch, and it basically rubs out anything that you might not want in the design. So I'm just going to rub out these words, this text over here, and this button over here. So now we've got more or less this section here ready to go. I can even rub out some of the extra things that I might not like here, like some of these looks like bits of text just flying around, a little bit of a yellow there. And generally we have a nice shoe aesthetic here with a nice background. The other thing I can do is I can actually expand this out a little bit more so that we have more room to play with, and use the content aware option from Photoshop to fill out the rest of the space. And well, that doesn't look particularly awesome. It is another way to do that. I don't think I'll do that in this case. Maybe I'll just expand it out a little bit, and hopefully the AI from Photoshop can do a little bit better. So that's good enough, and we can now save this to use for generating our website. There is another way we could do this. We could load up this image here inside of a URL, grab this URL that we have, and throw this inside of the Discord channel here for MidJourney. We can issue another prompt here, very similar to what we had before. And for this prompt, we could pass in the URL with a more specific example of what we wanted to do. So in this case, I'm going to pass in imagine. I'm going to pass in the URL, and I'm going to ask for a wallpaper render 8K. And then I'm going to put in version 4 and then stylize 500. And here's what we've come up with. These are actually pretty cool, and they're in high resolution too. As you can tell, they're on a white background, and they would be much easier to crop and place into a hero section to utilize for a website. We would still need to edit out some of these random pieces of text that is happening, but it gives you another way of how you can now start editing images without even using Photoshop, just using AI and art in general. With that done, it's time to build our website. I'm going to head over to EditorX. It's a no coding platform, and I'm going to build this website in 5 minutes or less. I'm going to log in, and then I'm going to head to create a new site. Here, I'll be taken to a dashboard, and I'm going to start copy pasting all these elements from ChatGPT as well as MidJourney straight in. The first thing I want to do is jump back into ChatGPT here and copy over our hero text, which is just over here. And I'm going to select add title, and I'm going to just paste that in here. And then I'm also going to grab the tagline over here, which says find the perfect occasion for shoes or something like that. So let's grab a paragraph section in here and paste that in. And finally, let's grab our call to action, which says shop now, and create a button for that too. So here we've got all the workings of what we would need, at least for the content. Now all we need is the image itself. So instead of just having a browse through stock images or anything like that, we actually had our image earlier done inside of Photoshop as well as MidJourney. So I'm going to just drag and drop a random image in here. I'm going to select to change the image, and I'm going to upload that image that I had. It should be here somewhere on the desktop. Here it is. I'm going to open that up, and I should be able to use that as part of this design. Now, once it's uploaded, I'm going to say update. Here it is. I'm going to select the expand stretching tool, which will expand it out. And then what I'm going to do is just move my content into position just here on the right-hand side. And in just a matter of moments, we have a pretty good looking website. We can select this section over here and we can expand it out to give it a little bit more room so that we basically have this text happening with a little bit more breathing room in general. Once we create these elements, we can start resizing the page and it's automatically responsive. We can even shrink down to smaller viewports and it just works. Now let's take a look at the second part of this design, which has this box on the left-hand side. We have an image on the right-hand side and 3 other boxes here on the bottom. I want to see if I can rebuild that same sort of aesthetic inside of EditorX. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select to add a new section, and I'm going to just do a blank section. Here, I think I'm going to do a bit of a container, and this container here, what I'm thinking, let's actually drag it in over here. And if we take a closer look at the design here, we've got a bit of a gray colored box. I also want to save this image and use the colors inside of the design here. So I'm actually just going to do that right now. Let me actually change image, upload this one that I've just downloaded right in here. And then I can probably even just select those hexadecimal values to use for the design aesthetic. And this can be useful whenever you're creating any type of design to pull the actual colors out of the images, because sometimes they're the nicest kind of colors. So here I'm going to select this box. I'm going to the inspector. I'm going to the design and I'm going to select the background and I'm going to pick a custom color. I'm going to select to add a color. And what I want to do is I want to add this color, well, this gray color. So I'm just going to open up the console here. I'm going to type in color red just for the time being. I'm going to do the picker here, select this gray color. I'll close this off for the time being, then jump back in here, add the hexadecimal color, paste this in, apply, and now we've got that box that we have here in the design. Then I'm going to snap it into the bottom left of this section here and snap it to the bottom of this section. It'll just snap straight into place. And we've got that aesthetic already happening here. The only other part is to make the background here very similar to the background that we have over here in the image for the hero section. So again, I'm just going to select that color. It's this F2 color. I'm going to select my container over here, going to the design, to the color, and I'm also going to add that in. So let me just paste this hexadecimal value in. And now you can see these two sections almost look like they're overlapping. So what I'm going to do is jump in here and grab one of these images. I think I'll grab this one here, which I quite like. I'm also going to see if I can pull out some of these little circles because I think they make it more interesting in general. Let's see if I can just select them. I can, which is cool. And then I'm going to cut that out. I think that's our image just there. And I'm going to save this as a PNG with no background whatsoever. I'm going to go to add a image. And then this time I'm going to upload that shoe image that we just got earlier. There it is. Let's select to use it. And here it is. I can move this about pretty much anywhere, but if we take a look at the design we earlier had, which I believe was somewhere here, we can see it was on the left and we had some text on the right hand side. So I'm going to replicate that. I'm going to put this here on the right hand side, and I'm also thinking to maybe do a bit of a column design here. I'm going to move this container here into this main column. I'm going to move this image here and center it in the middle of this column. And then I'll finally put the text on the right hand side column. And there is docking that you can do so that it is mobile responsive, essentially, where you can dock it from all the angles. And then for the text, I could probably even just drag and drop something in here on the right hand side. Since we have ChatGPT providing us with good text, we can just copy paste this features and details section straight in here. Let me just double click on this text. I think I'm double clicking on it. I'm not sure what I'm doing here. We'll just click on this text over here, paste it in, and then I'm just going to expand it out and make it maybe a little bit bigger, maybe at 24 pixels, so it utilizes the space just in this section. So that, I think, is looking pretty good. I think it's overlapping a little bit, so I'm gonna shrink it down a little bit more. Let's just move it over here, shrink it down, and then just make sure that it's nice and centered in terms of its docking position. So I'm just gonna center it by selecting all the items here, or you can do the text box and just center it here in the middle like that. So now if I was to resize it, you can see it's utilizing the full size. You'll notice though the image here for the shoe seems to be losing its styling when it gets, I suppose, a little bit bigger. And we can actually fix that to make sure that it keeps its aspect ratio by making sure it's bound to the box over here. So now even if I resize it, it still stays bound in that box inside of that container. And this, folks, is more or less how you would start building a website without having to write any code, using tools like MidJourney to be able to design really cool websites, and then using tools like ChatGPT to get the content for that website, and then using EditorX to put it all together in just mere moments. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you learned a lot, or if there are other things you still want to learn, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.